You know what I've learned in life? Some of the loneliest moments don't happen when you're sitting in a room by yourself. They happen when you're surrounded by people who don't see you, don't value you, don't understand you. Loneliness isn't about being alone. It's about being disconnected from your own soul. And here's the truth: being alone is not a curse, it's an opportunity. It's the time where you meet yourself, where you discover your strength, your peace, and your worth. Too many people are afraid of silence. They're afraid to sit still, afraid to face their own reflection, afraid of letting go of things and people that no longer serve their journey. But let me tell you something. Sometimes God or life or destiny removes people from your path because they were never meant to walk with you to the finish line. And when that happens, you have two choices: hold on and suffer, or let go and grow. Happiness doesn't come from what you hold on to. It comes from what you're willing to release. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is strength. Too often in this world, people confuse noise with power. They think the loudest voice in the room is the strongest. They think constant chatter means confidence. But sometimes the most powerful person is the one who doesn't have to prove anything with words. Sometimes it's the one who can sit alone in stillness and not be afraid of what they hear in that quiet space. The truth is, silence has a way of revealing who you are when no one else is watching. It strips away the applause, the validation, the distractions, and forces you to confront yourself. That can be uncomfortable because it means facing your fears, your doubts, your regrets, all those parts of yourself you've been avoiding. But that's where growth happens. That's where transformation begins. In silence, you learn to stop running from yourself. You learn to listen to that inner voice, the one that whispers the truth you already know but keep drowning out with noise. See, most people spend their lives running from silence. They fill their days with endless conversations, social media, television, anything that keeps them from being alone with themselves. But when you are never still, you never grow. You keep chasing noise, and that noise blinds you from seeing your real strength. The world wants you distracted because a distracted mind is a weak mind. But when you master silence, when you can sit alone and not feel empty, you discover something most people never will: you are enough. You don't need the approval of a crowd. You don't need the constant company of others to feel whole. You carry everything you need inside of you. Silence teaches patience. In silence, you learn that not every reaction needs words. Not every insult needs a response. Not every challenge requires you to show anger. Strong people don't always fight battles with their fists or their mouths. Sometimes strength is walking away. Sometimes strength is breathing before you answer. Sometimes strength is saying nothing at all because you know your energy is too valuable to waste on things that don't matter. Silence also builds discipline. When you can control your tongue, you can control your actions. When you can sit quietly with your own thoughts, you learn how to focus. You become less reactive, more intentional. You begin to move with purpose instead of impulse. And that is a power the world can't take from you. Think about it. Some of the greatest decisions you'll ever make won't come in a crowd, won't come in the noise of opinions, won't come when everyone is telling you what to do. They'll come in silence, when you stop and listen to your heart, when you pray, when you reflect, when you shut out the noise and hear that still, small voice inside of you. That's when clarity comes. That's when strength rises. Now, don't mistake silence for isolation. This isn't about cutting yourself off from the world. This is about learning that your worth isn't defined by the noise around you. It's about understanding that solitude is a teacher, not a punishment. It's in those quiet hours where you'll discover your vision, your peace, your purpose. And once you've built that strength in silence, you'll walk into any room with unshakable confidence because you're not looking for something outside to complete you. You've already found it within. So the next time you feel alone, don't rush to fill that silence. Don't rush to escape it. Sit in it. Learn from it. Allow it to shape you. Because the day you stop fearing silence is the day you start owning your strength. And when you own that strength, no noise, no chaos, no storm can take your peace away. Silence doesn't make you weak. It makes you unstoppable. Letting go is one of the hardest things you will ever do, but it is also one of the most powerful. The truth is, most of us are carrying weight we don't need. We hold on to people who left us long ago, memories that only bring us pain, mistakes that we can't change, and fears that were never meant to control us. We hold on because we think if we let go, we'll lose a part of ourselves. But what you don't realize is that holding on is what's keeping you stuck. It's what's keeping you from stepping into the life that's waiting for you. You see, the act of letting go is not about giving up. It's not about quitting. It's about recognizing what is no longer meant for you. Some people were only supposed to be in your life for a season. Some doors were only supposed to be open for a moment. Some opportunities were only meant to teach you a lesson, not carry you forever. But when you cling to what's gone, you miss what's coming. You can't receive with clenched fists. You can't move forward while dragging everything from the past behind you. Letting go requires trust. Trust that something greater is ahead. Trust that even though it hurts now, there's healing on the other side. Trust that the people who walked away weren't meant to stay, and that sometimes rejection is just redirection. When you hold on to bitterness, you poison yourself. When you hold on to anger, you burn from the inside. But when you release it, you free yourself. You stop carrying weight that was never yours to begin with. That freedom, that's power. Think about this. Every time you let go, you make space. When you let go of the wrong relationship, you make space for peace. When you let go of old habits, you make space for growth. When you let go of doubt, you make space for faith. Holding on keeps you trapped in yesterday, but letting go opens the door to tomorrow. That's why it takes courage. Because to let go, you must believe tomorrow can be better than yesterday. Too many people spend their lives chained to the past. They replay the same mistakes over and over in their minds. They keep holding on to what someone said years ago. They keep trying to force relationships that stopped working a long time ago. They keep dragging baggage that only breaks their spirit. But here's the truth: life will not wait for you. While you're stuck holding on, life is moving forward without you. If you want to grow, if you want to rise, if you want to find real joy, you must learn to release. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean what happened was okay. It doesn't mean you don't care. It simply means you're no longer willing to let the past control your present. It means you're strong enough to say, "This chapter is over. I'm ready for the next one." That's not weakness, that's power. That's you taking control of your life instead of letting pain take control of you. There will be people who don't understand your choice to let go. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're different. They'll be right. You're not the same because you've grown. You've found strength in yourself that doesn't need to cling, that doesn't need to beg, that doesn't need to chase what doesn't belong to you. You've learned that sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is goodbye. So I say this: stop holding on to what holds you back. Stop replaying stories that keep you broken. Stop chasing people who don't want to stay. You are stronger than you think, and your future is brighter than your past. Letting go is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of a new one. Every time you release something that no longer serves you, you rise a little higher. You walk a little freer. You see a little clearer. And that is the kind of power that no one can take away from you. Loving yourself is not arrogance. It's not selfishness, it's survival. Too many people go through life thinking love has to come from the outside, that happiness is hidden in someone else's arms, that validation is found in another person's approval. But when you build your worth on the opinions of others, you hand them the keys to your peace. You make your joy fragile because the moment they leave, the moment they stop clapping for you, you feel empty. That's why loving yourself first is the foundation for everything. Without it, nothing else stands. When you love yourself, You stop begging for love from people who don't know how to give it. You stop chasing relationships that drain you. You stop lowering your standards just to feel accepted. You realize your value doesn't decrease because someone else couldn't see it. You realize you are worthy, not because someone told you, but because you finally told yourself. Self-love doesn't mean you think you're perfect. It means you've accepted that you're not, and you still choose to treat yourself with kindness, with patience, with respect. It means you forgive yourself for the mistakes you've made, but you also hold yourself accountable so you can grow. It means you can look in the mirror and see not just flaws, but progress, because you're not competing with anyone else. You're competing with who you were yesterday. The problem is, a lot of people don't know themselves. They keep searching for love without ever building a relationship with themselves first. They fear silence because they've never learned how to enjoy their own company. They run into relationship after relationship hoping someone else can fix the emptiness inside them. But if you don't love who you are when you're alone, no one else will ever be able to fill that void. That's why some people have everything on the outside, but still feel broken on the inside. Because self-love can't be bought, can't be borrowed, can't be given by someone else. It has to be built from within. When you love yourself first, you set the tone for how the world treats you. You teach people how to value you by the way you value yourself. If you constantly put yourself last, if you constantly sacrifice your peace just to please others, people will get comfortable with your suffering. But when you set boundaries, when you demand respect, when you refuse to accept less than you deserve, you show people that you know your worth. And once you know your worth, no one can take it from you. Self-love also brings freedom. Because when you love yourself, you no longer fear being alone. You no longer settle for toxic love just to avoid loneliness. You no longer live for applause because you've learned to clap for yourself. That freedom is priceless. It allows you to walk away from situations that don't honor you, to protect your energy, to build a life that reflects your true self, instead of a version of you designed to keep others comfortable. Loving yourself first doesn't mean you stop loving others. In fact, it makes you better at loving others. Because when you're whole within yourself, you don't place unfair expectations on someone else to complete you. You love them freely, without chains, without desperation, without fear of losing yourself in the process. The strongest love is the love that comes from someone who doesn't need you, but chooses you. And that kind of love begins with the one you give yourself. So take the time to know yourself. Take the time to heal from what broke you. Take the time to forgive yourself for what you didn't know then, but understand now. Take the time to look within and see the strength, the beauty, the resilience that has carried you through storms you thought would destroy you. That person in the mirror deserves love, and until you give it, no one else's love will ever be enough. The moment you decide to love yourself first is the moment your life begins to change. You walk taller, you speak with confidence, you move with purpose. You stop asking for permission to exist and start taking up the space you were always meant to fill. Self-love is not just important, it is essential. Because if you don't love yourself, you will keep looking for pieces of yourself in other people. And if you do love yourself, you'll realize you've been whole all along. Peace does not come from money. Peace does not come from fame. Peace does not come from having more followers, more likes, more attention. Peace comes when you wake up in the morning and know you are living in alignment with your purpose. Purpose is what gives your struggle meaning. Purpose is what makes the long nights and early mornings worth it. Purpose is what makes the sacrifices bearable. Without purpose, life feels heavy. With purpose, even the hardest days have direction. Too many people confuse pleasure with peace. Pleasure fades. Peace lasts. Pleasure is found in moments, but purpose builds a life. That is why people who appear to have it all can still feel empty. They chased success, but ignored their calling. They achieved everything except fulfillment. You can fool the world. You can even fool yourself for a time. but your spirit knows when you are living below your calling. You will feel restless. You will feel incomplete. Because until you walk in your purpose, no amount of applause will silence the noise inside. Purpose is not always glamorous. Sometimes it is quiet. Sometimes it looks like discipline. Sometimes it looks like sacrifice. Sometimes it means saying no when everyone else is saying yes. But when you are walking in it, there is a peace that cannot be shaken. Even when storms come, you stand firm because you know what you're fighting for. Even when people doubt you, you stay steady because you know who you are. Purpose anchors you in a world that is constantly trying to pull you in 1,000 directions. Finding purpose requires honesty. You have to ask yourself the hard questions. Why am I here? What gifts do I have that the world needs? What legacy do I want to leave behind? The answers may not come overnight, but when you search with sincerity, they will reveal themselves in time. Purpose is not about chasing what looks good to others. It's about following what feels true to your soul. It may not make sense to everyone else, but it doesn't have to. It's not their vision, it's yours. When you live with purpose, you stop competing with everyone else. You stop measuring your life by someone else's timeline. You stop comparing your journey to theirs because you realize you're not running their race, you're running your own. That's where the peace comes in. Comparison steals joy, but purpose restores it because it reminds you that you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you're meant to do. Purpose also protects you. Without it, you will say yes to everything. You will spread yourself thin. You will waste energy on things that drain you. But when you know your purpose, you gain clarity. You learn to say no to distractions, no to toxic environments, no to relationships that keep you from growing. You stop living just to survive and start living to serve, to create, to impact, to build. Purpose gives you focus, and focus brings peace. There will be seasons when your purpose feels heavy, when the road is hard, when the dream looks too far away. But even then, there is peace in knowing the pain is not pointless. The obstacles are shaping you. The challenges are preparing you. The delays are teaching you patience. When you live in purpose, every struggle becomes part of the story. Every setback becomes part of the lesson. Every loss becomes part of the journey. That peace allows you to endure, to push through, to keep moving forward when others give up. You are not here by accident. There is a reason you were born, a reason you've survived every challenge you thought would break you, a reason your heart still beats. You are here because your purpose is not finished. You are here because there is work still left for you to do. When you discover that, when you embrace it, when you commit to it, life changes, the noise quiets, the anxiety fades. The chaos doesn't control you anymore, because once you find your purpose, you find your peace. At the end of the day, life is not about how loud you can be, but how strong you can stand in silence. It's not about how tightly you can hold on, but how bravely you can let go. It's not about how many people love you, but how deeply you love yourself. And it's not about how far you can run without direction, but how much peace you can find walking in your purpose. You see, happiness is not hidden in someone else's hands. It's not waiting in the noise of the crowd. It's not locked in your past, and it's not measured by the things you own. Happiness is built within you. It begins the moment you stop fearing solitude, the moment you release what weighs you down, the moment you decide you are enough, the moment you commit to living with intention. So learn to embrace the quiet. Learn to release what isn't meant for you. Learn to love yourself so deeply that no loss can break you, no rejection can define you, and no failure can stop you. Then walk boldly in your calling, because when you know who you are, when you trust where you're going, nothing can take your peace away. That is real power. That is real freedom. That is how you find happiness, even when you're standing alone.